Good morning and welcome to Take Your Life Back Today show with Ralf Friedrichs. Today we're going to talk about the 7 reasons to have an intervention. Let me just move this a little closer to me, and here we go. I want to just dedicate this particular segment today to a good friend of mine whose brother is battling for his life, literally battling for his life because of his alcoholism. Whether there are drugs involved, I don't know for sure. But because of this, I want to dedicate this because I truly believe that my friend needs to get an intervention going for her brother. I reached out to a good friend of mine. His name is Larry Geese. He's got unbelievable amount of experience as a life coach, addiction recovery coach, and you can call him if you have any problem whatsoever with addiction and recovery. Whether it's for yourself or for a loved one. You can call him at 516-485-2741. He is over at the Geis Academy, and you can also look at his website at www.odysseyconsultant.org. That is ODYSSEYCONSULTANT.org. That's Larry Geis from Geis Academy at 516-485-2741. And the reason I wanted to bring him up is because I'm going to slowly blend his name into my episodes, because there are thousands of people like my friend whose brother is suffering, and my friend needed support, and she came to me over and over again, and I have done my best to help her. But why not bring a person like Larry Geese into the picture, who's got unbelievable amount of experience, who can help with an intervention? When my friend decides to utilize Larry Geese and get this intervention going, the intervention will be as such as people getting together, family, loved ones, and Larry had recommended to invite the person that has the addiction to this intervention. This will show one or two things. It will show this person's willingness to change, to find a new life or his old life, to take his life back. And it also shows to this addict that we are not all ganging up on him, and we are not all trying to force him to do anything that he's not willing to do. Because you have to keep in mind, folks, everybody sooner or later will face one of many things. One will be the best thing, and that is rock bottom, to crawl out from underneath and crawl your way back into your life where you can take your life back. The other thing might be death, whether it's due to an accident of their own, suicide, Mother Nature taking their organs. And the other thing possibly would be a lengthy jail term due to you causing, as the addict, someone else's death. Please reach out to Larry Geese at 516-485-2741 at the Geese Academy at www.odysseyconsultant.org. That's ODYSSEYCONSULTANT.org, and have him help you or your loved one in situations like this. And Larry, I know you are watching, and I want to thank you for your efforts, for your dedication on helping a complete stranger here through my friend's brother. I want to thank you so much, and I hope and pray that you continuously do what you do, which you do very well. To my friend, I know you're watching me, whose brother is suffering, I am so glad they found him last night. I really wish the hospital would have been able to hold him for a few days to get him to sober up, because one of the reasons that we're going to talk about is the fact that people cannot even get to the point of possibly looking into changing, because they are so clouded from their situation, from their drugness, from their alcoholism, that they don't have a chance to even change. I'm going to take these 7 steps, and I'm going to read something from the CDC. I'm going to go over the 7 steps from the CDC. Today, I'm writing to the loved ones of addicts and alcoholics who may have heard an incomplete message about your role as the person on the sideline. You have a role. Larry and myself will tell you you have a role as a loved one, as a family member. The message goes something like this: I am completely powerless to help the addict I love, and the only thing I can do is stay out of the way until he or she hits rock bottom. It's absolutely true that in trying to help, we can unwittingly enable the addict or shield him from the very consequences they might spark to change. Wisdom is required for sure. Al-Anon exists in large part for this reason. We can't change another person, but we can change only ourselves. But none of this means we should do nothing while a loved one spirals further toward tragedy or even death. This topic is very personal to me. My friend's brother began a scary descent into alcoholism. I have recommended scrabbling together for a small family intervention and get her brother some help. I have volunteered myself to sit in during this intervention, and I know Larry is willing also to help with this intervention. You could say the seeds of hope will be planted during this intervention, and we can only hope that this will happen. Or whether or when he will finally hit rock bottom, it might help. If your loved one is in serious trouble with addiction, you may want to consider an intervention, and you may want to consider an intervention immediately. An intervention happens when a family and friends of the addict create a plan to lovingly but firmly confront the addict and urge him or her to get help. Now, as Larry has recommended, it is very important that we invite the person, her brother, to this intervention, not force him or not gang up on him like a bunch of wolves on prey. Some family enlist professional help, like Larry, like myself, while others go it alone. Of course, many interventions fail, like anything in life. The addict refuses to accept the help no matter what. Here are 7 reasons why an intervention might be worth the risk. I realize that I'm only going to touch the surface of this complicated issue, but I hope this list will spark something within you, some sparks of thinking of how we can live together and help each other as humans with this informal intervention. If you know someone who loves an addict, please pass these 7 reasons to have an intervention. And to my friend, this is dedicated to you, and to my friend Larry, thank you from the bottom of my heart and on behalf of my friend for being there as a crutch during this crisis for my friend. Reason number 1 is addiction is a progressive disease that only gets worse if left untreated and often is fatal, especially with kids and young adults whose brain cells are still developing. A delayed response diminishes the chance for full recovery. This is why we have to be so careful, because this disease is progressively, it spreads progressively, and if it's not treated, whether it's through rehab, whether it's through some other formal intervention, it will be devastating, even fatal. Number 2 is intervention are often necessary to save lives because of a hallmark of addiction is denial and resistance. Why would we let a clear symptom of dangerous disease keep us from trying to get help for the sufferer? Why would we do that? It is our duty as a family member, as a loved one, as a friend, to do whatever it takes to even save one life. Even if we had 100 people suffering from this disease in this particular room here, if I only saved one, if I touch you through my video one time, my mission is accomplished. Number 3, some addicts and alcoholics have to get sober for a while to actually see that they want to be sober. Because this particular friend of mine's brother is so clouded and so engulfed in alcoholism, I know for a fact, wants to get help, but he can't see it because he's too intoxicated. Yesterday when I spoke to this particular friend of my friend's brother, the day started, the conversation started somewhat understandable, meaning I could actually understand what he was trying to say, and he kept saying he feels like he's dying, that within a year he'll be dead. As time progressed yesterday, hour after hour, it became progressively worse to the tune of he ended up in the hospital. They were going to hold him for 72 hours, yet he was able to get away from the hospital, to be nowhere found, But this morning I woke up to a text from my friend that they found him in the park. He is now safe. Intervention is necessary. That's why rehab or jail can turn a person's life around. The fog of insanity lifts enough that they can reach for recovery. Number 4, turning points don't have to arrive on the heels of great devastation or loss. It didn't for me. I was able to take my life back just in the nick of time. In recovery, we say the bottom is where you decide to get off the elevator, and the bottom happens when you stop digging. This is so true, and this is an important saying. Let me read it again. In recovery, we say the bottom is where you decide to get off the elevator, and the bottom happens when you stop digging. Number 5, despair, shame, mortification alone won't bring most addicts to the point of change. They are so clouded, they are so intoxicated, it doesn't matter to them about the despair, the shame, the mortification. Often these painful emotions merely fuel the cycle of self-sabotage, reinforcing an addict's fear that they don't desire to recover. An intervention sends a powerful message in its contents. But the intervention, like Larry will tell you, needs to be one of choice for the addicted, not like a bunch of wolves ganging up on prey. Number 6, for most of us, the low point does not become a turning point unless hope is part of their future, or part of the picture, I could say. With no view to a better life, an addict can go along this way for years without change. An intervention and examples to the addict of a better tomorrow gives this addict hope, which I clearly specify each and every day during my episodes. Without hope, there is nothing to hope for. Give the addict hope with an intervention by you as the family, you as the friend, you as the counselor, the addiction recovery coach. Shows that there is brighter days to come, that leaving the old life behind and taking their life back, now is the time. Number 7, without intervention, many addicts simply won't hit rock bottom until they are 6 feet under or put someone else 6 feet under. Regardless of the outcome, stepping into the urge treatment and setting boundaries is a way of showing an addict just how far they have fallen at the same time, and you are actually showing them how much you love them. These are the 7 reasons. Addiction is a progressive disease that only gets worse if left untreated and is often fatal. Interventions are often necessary to save the lives because a hallmark of addiction is denial and resistance. Number 3, some addicts and alcoholics have to get sober for a while to actually see that they want to be sober. Number 4, turning points don't have to arrive on the heels of great devastation or loss. Number 5, despair, shame, and mortification alone won't bring most addicts to the point of change. Number 6, for most of us, a low point does not become the turning point unless the word hope exists in your life as part of the picture. Number 7, without an intervention, many addicts simply won't hit rock bottom until they are 6 feet under, or have put someone else 6 feet under. Folks, today I'm writing to the loved ones of addicts and alcoholics who may have heard an incomplete message about your role. The message goes something like this, folks, and listen up, please. I am completely powerless to help the addict I love, and the only thing I can do is stay out of the way until they have hit rock bottom. It's absolutely true that in trying to help, we can unwittingly enable the addict or shield him away from the very consequences that might spark the change. Wisdom is required, for sure. Al-Anon exists in large part for this reason. We can't change another person. We can only change ourselves. But none of this means we should do nothing while the loved one spirals further toward tragedy or even death. This topic is very personal to me, especially. My friend's brother began a scary descent into alcoholism. I recommend scrabbling together a small family intervention with friends and an addiction recovery coach and get her brother some help that he so desperately needs. Who can say what seeds of hope will be planted during this intervention, or whether or when he will finally hit rock bottom? If your loved one is in serious trouble with addiction, you may want to consider an intervention also. An intervention happens when family, friends, addiction recovery coach confronts an addict and urges him to get into treatment. But don't become wolves around prey. Invite the addict to this intervention. Have the addict show up and get involved. This will show the willingness of the changes to come for this addict. Some families enlist professional help, which is truly highly recommended by me, while others go it alone, and that is a sure sign of possibly failure. Of course, many interventions do fail, whether or not alone or with professional help. The addict refuses to accept the help. Denial consistently stays with the addict. So why bother going to all the trouble and the expense, people might ask. Here are the 7 reasons, once more, why an intervention might be worth the risk. I realize that this only touches the surface of this complicated issue, but I hope the list will spark some thinking within you or your loved one. If you know someone who loves an addict, please pass this message along, and remember these 7 things. Addiction is a progressive disease that only gets worse if left untreated and often leads to fatal results. Number 2 is interventions are often necessary to save the lives because hallmark of addiction is denial and resistance. Number 3, some addicts and alcoholics have to get sober for a while to actually see that they want to be sober. Number 4, turning points don't have to arrive on the heels of great devastation or loss. Number 5, despair, shame, and mortification alone won't bring most addicts to the point of change. Number 6, for most of us, a low point does not become the turning point unless the word hope exists in your life and becomes part of your picture. Number 7, without an intervention, many addicts simply won't hit rock bottom until they are 6 feet under or have taken someone and put them 6 feet under. Folks, I urge anyone that's out there that's interested in intervention for a loved one, or that's interested to find how to live in recovery, to get a hold of my good friend, addiction recovery coach, life coach, Larry Geese from the Geese Academy at 516-485-2741. Go to www.odysseyconsultant.org. That's ODYSSEYCONSULTANT.org. Tell Larry that you found out about him on the Take Your Life Back Today show. I want to give a shout out also, as I conclude, to Dr. Luis Gonzalez from StartingPointMN.com. You can reach him at 844-414-8444. Dr. Luis Gonzalez will help you from your addiction to your recovery each and every day. He can also turn you into an addiction recovery coach if you have passion, professionalism, and a personality, and you have an addiction background, whether it's battling your own demons or helping others. Call him at 844-414-8444, and also go to his website, www.startingpointmn.com. Global Eyeglasses, they are focused on saving you money. If you need glasses for as low as $6 up to $69, what these prices include are single vision clear plastic non-coated lenses, a case, and a cloth. Or you can look into progressives. You can look into transitions. You can look into photochromatics, thinner lenses, anti-reflecting coating lenses. That's all available at www.globaleyeglasses.com, and they are focused on saving you money. And here is the great thing, folks. Not only am I your host of the Take Your Life Back Today show, not only am I your addiction recovery coach possibly, but I am your optical professional with over 30 years experience in silence. So many of you have called me already at 631-599-0218 because you heard about global eyeglasses on my show. Continuously call me because I can give you 30 years of optical experience in helping you select the proper frame, the proper lenses, the proper pair of glasses. I will make you see a better tomorrow. Call me at 631-599-0218. Go to www.globaleyeglasses.com where they are focused on saving you money. Get a hold of Larry Geese from the Geese Academy over at www.odysseyconsultant.org, or call him at 516-485-2741 and let Larry help you. Let Dr. Luis Gonzalez help you. Let me, Ralf Friedrichs from the Take Your Life Back Today show, help you. Because we are all out here to help you take your life back. To my friend, please stay strong for your brother. Help is on its way. A better tomorrow, hopefully it's on its way. And I hope to God maybe you can convince your brother to watch this particular episode so he can see and hear these 7 reasons why we need to, and I repeat, need to have an intervention for your brother. We need to enlist people like Larry Geese. Folks, I hope to God each and every one of you has a great day. I hope you realize that a sober today will give you a better tomorrow. And for all my friends, including my friend's brother, all changes in life happen with very small steps. Changes are coming. You'll start seeing those changes when you stop denying you have a problem. Folks, teach your children and your grandchildren to please say no to drugs and alcohol. And start thinking positive, and positive things will happen and positive results will be coming your way in life. I hope to God you all have a great day, but more importantly, I pray to God that you have a sober day. May God bless you.